Yesterday, people were asking why there is no translation, why there is only transliteration in the Sanskritam. The answer to that I told you, because many of the translations are not very accurate, little erroneous, subject to interpretations. But if you really want, there is a small text which has everything, basic translations. I would, you can borrow this and get it Xeroxed, and somebody can give it back to me if you want. But again, don't look at the translations. That's what I would say. Okay. Better to buy Pujya Swamiji's book. That would be better. Little bit, somebody can increase the volume. People in the back. Ramchandran is here. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya Varam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Vasudevendra Yogindram Tattva Bodha Mumukshunam hitarthaya Tattva Bodho bhidhiyate. The opening prayer verse, we talked about why the prayer is necessary and a lot of reasons. Because we don't want the work to be destroyed, that's one more reason. We have to bear in mind that in the ancient time, work of anything would be inscribed with a kind of a stencil-like instrument on palm leaves. And then, if the prayer was not there, or if the prayer was not effective, the likelihood of a few or all the pages being assimilated very well by goats was there. The possibility, instead of the knowledge being assimilated in the hearts of the people for whom it is intended, it would be ajabhakshitam, eaten by goats, destroyed, termites, so many things. So the prayer is very important. And usually the prayers have double entendres, different ways of, it's very layered, nuanced, profound prayer. On many levels, it functions, and that is the beauty of composing anything in Sanskrit language, because we can have this multiple layered meanings for any kind of thing that is composed. This prayer is no exception, and When we look at the words, we first look at the verb, catch hold of the verb, provided, of course, we should know where the verb is. That you will find out in the Sanskrit classes. But here it is abhidhiyate. There is a patha bheda. Some places it says vidhiyate. It's the same thing. Not much difference. Abhidhiyate is presented. Passive voice is presented. In the English language, we are taught that the passive usage of the passive voice must be avoided. It is weak. We are taught that. But this is far from the truth in Sanskrit. The passive voice is really strong, especially in the works of Vedanta, for reasons we have outlined before. That the knowledge comes from the sampradaya, the parampara, the lineage. We don't really take credit for it. But then there is also the absence of the subject looming large. Subject means the subject of the sentence here. The absence of the subject looming large in any kind of a sentence means that the verse or the mantra in question is presenting the essence, the vision of Vedanta itself. And what is the vision of Vedanta? Simply put, I am not the doer. Akarta aham. So this, I am not the agent of action, neither am I the recipient of the results of action. This is the ultimate. This we are slowly going to get there. But for right now, since this passive voice usage came and there are sometimes questions, because we have grown up and internalized the Western way of understanding grammar, language, etc. So I thought this is a salient point to just bring in before we go further. So abhidhiyate is presented. And if we really had to do, if we had to complete that sentence, we would have said Maya, by me, is presented. But that by me is absent here. It is understood, it is presented by somebody, but really the thing is presented, means this knowledge is sanatana, always there. It's just being presented. It's a knowledge without a knower. It is a knowledge without an agent. It is a knowledge without an author. Therefore, nobody can say, I have self-knowledge. To say that would be some kind of a, it's kind of a wrong thing to say that. It's a knowledge who doesn't have a knower, because it's not the knowledge of objects. Our knowledge of objects, you can have knower. Hat, cat, rat, mat, knower is there. But myself, since I am not an object, so there is no object as the knower. There is no object because the knower is not an object. The knower is a subject which can never, ever be made into an object. So vidhiyate, abhidhiyate is presented. So what is presented? Then we need the subject of the sentence. What is presented? Tattva Bodha abhidhiyate. Simple sentence. Tattva Bodha. This work called Tattva Bodha, whose meaning we have seen, the understanding of the reality or the knowledge of the ultimate reality, is being presented here. Atra abhidhiyate. How is it being presented? Because the verb, there is a kind of a condition there in the manner of the presentation, because there is another verb there, natva. Natva, having prostrated, having surrendered at the feet of. Natva abhidhiyate. Who natva? Having prostrated whom? Bhagavan, Guru. Here both are seen as the same. We can take it either way. So having given the teacher the credit for this knowledge, having surrendered at the feet of the teacher, Gurum Nattva Tattva Bodha Abhidhiyate. See how we are building up the sentences slowly? First, Tattva Bodha Abhidhiyate. Nattva Tattva Bodha Abhidhiyate. Gurum Nattva Tattva Bodha Abhidhiyate. Guru means, see, these days the word Guru is very, it's made it into the English dictionary. Yes, it's an English word. It is not a, what is that? It is no longer a specific word. All kinds of gurus are there. Music gurus and dance gurus insist that you call them guru. And then what else? Then stock market guru. You have to go to them to find out whether to sell, buy, what to do, everything. And then if all else fails, there is somebody called life guru, life coach. Only celebrities can afford, so that they don't have a wardrobe malfunction, just before any kind of a thing. What to wear, they have too many things. They don't know how to mix, match, what to wear. They have to call and cry in front of this life coach. How do you know all this? I met one. Yes. He was a seatmate on the plane for me. And then he asked, what do you do? I also asked, what do you do? I was returning the courtesy. And he said, I'm a life coach. I said, oh, now I'm very intrigued. Life guru, he said. I said, oh, I'm very intrigued. What is it? So he says, I counsel people, I do this, and I have all these celebrities. They hire me. They pay a monthly retainer to be able to call me night and day. They're able to call. So then he was also going to the same place that I was going. Around the plane. And then after that, he attended one lecture. It was a week-long program. And then he came on the last day. So then I said, oh, how is business? How is life? He said, not very well. I said, what happened? I'm having marital problems. So you see, then this is the thing. So here, none of these gurus are being talked about. The Shastra has a specific definition of the word guru. Mahavakya Upadesha Kartru. So the one who is the expounder of the vision of no division in the Mahavakya, in the form of what is called Mahavakya. Mahavakya means the sentence which shows that the jiva, the hapless, hopeless, helpless individual jiva, is the same as Ishvara, the total, the cause of everything. This is the expounder of the unfolder of the Mahavakya in a manner that you can assimilate without any doubt, error, or any kind of vagueness, is called Guru. Mahavakya Upadesha Karta. And in fact, the word Guru itself has the seeds of this definition. Gukaraha Andhakaraha Vai. The syllable Gu is for tamas, ignorance. The darkness that is clouding my mind, which is not enabling to see and own up my own glory, this is Gu. And the Ru is the remover of that eclipse. The remover of the Rahu in the form of the eclipse in the mind is called Guru. Gukaraha andhakaro vai rukaraha tat nivartakaha. Andhakara nirodhitvat, because of the function of removing this tamas, the ignorance, guruhu iti abhidhiyate. Therefore, the person who does this is called Guru. So Guru means Brahma Vidya Guru only. No other Guru is talked about here. And even though this is an ancient text, The author makes it clear that this is what is intended, and the word guru is qualified by another word. Jnana pradam gurum natva tattva bodha abhidhiyate. Jnana pradaha. Jnanam, knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Self-knowledge. Brahma jnanam. That Brahma, this Brahman is Atma alone. That kind of knowledge, Brahma jnanam. And this Brahma jnanam is what is intended by the word knowledge. Jnanam, jnana pradam. So there is a nice way of Sanskrit is a very compact and a concise language. So dadati gives, giver, dadati gives. You can shorten that into making it kind of an agent noun by just saying daha. Dadati iti daha. Jnana pradaha tam jnana pradam. And we find this in every place. Gacchati, you can shorten to gaha. Gacchati means goes. Khe gacchati, that which goes in space. Khaga, khagaha. What goes in space? Birds or planes. Superman, so many things. Yeah. So, and in these days, drones, anything you can see. Anything that goes in space or these space shuttles, all these satellites which are there, khaga. Urasi gacchati, uragaha, that which goes with the help of its chest. What is that? Snake, other crawling things, uragaha. And so like this, we have very beautiful way of doing this in the Sanskrit language. So here Dadati gives Daha. And how does the Guru give? He or she gives completely until it is understood. Therefore, the upasarga, this prefix prakarshena dadati, pradaha, gives until it is fully assimilated. So, jnana pradam gurum natva tattva bodha abhidhiyate. Abhidhiyate, tattva bodha abhidhiyate, jnana pradam gurum natva, having surrendered at the feet of this Guru. Because this shows the Sampradaya. How did the author get this knowledge? Author got this knowledge through a particular prakriya, a method. And that method includes the giving up of all notions about the I and surrendering to the teacher to unfold the Shastra, the Shastric notion, the Shastric understanding of what the I really is. So having gained that, having understood that, then only the author is presenting this Tattva Bodha, the work called Tattva Bodha. The work is called Tattva Bodha. The title is Tattva Bodha. The subject matter is also what? Tattva Bodha. It's like saying a book of world history. And what is inside the pages? Agatha Christie novel. Right? No. World history. World history is the topic. World history is the subject matter. So here also Tattva Bodha, the knowledge of the reality, is the topic, and it's the title, and it also happens to be what? The subject matter. So Tattva Bodha abhidhiyate is given, is understood, is presented, etc., is unfolded. Not understood, unfolded. Then we have to ask the final question in order to look at the compound that is there in the beginning. And what is there? Sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikarina. So, sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikarina. Then we come to the important question of who is this book for? It should be some reader must be there. Some reader is implied, audience is implied. Like if we talk about heavy metal music, right? Who is the audience? Teenagers and young adults. So that is who it is directed towards. It is not for other people. And so, like this, the audience here is talked about in this particular compound. Adhikarina. Adhikarina means for those who are qualified adhikari. For those who are qualified. And then who are these people who are qualified? These are the, how are they qualified? So, Shamadi, Shatka, Sampat, all this they have. We will be seeing that in this in detail, or the text itself will describe. So these, the audience for this book have to have certain prerequisites. So the audience has to have prerequisites. Because if you have a book on theory of relativity, and a fourth grade student, 8 years old, 9 years old, you give the book to, will they understand? Absolutely not. So here also, the audience is described. And how is the audience described? By the ones who are endowed with certain qualifications alone are described. And what is that here? Sadhana chatushtaya. Chatushtaya, fourfold, quadruple. So the ones who are equipped with these quadruple qualifications. See, so easy. Only 4 things you have to have to study Tattva Bodha. Only 4. See, we can manage. So, sadhana. Sadhana means means. So those who are qualified with the fourfold means, and those are called adhikaris. Adhikari means a qualified person, qualified with, equipped with these fourfold things, 4 things. The ones who has these 4 things can, for whom this book will make sense. Sadhana, chatushtaya, sampanna. Sampanna means nicely endowed with, well equipped with, well endowed with the fourfold qualifications. Adhikarina. And then what the question will arise, why should I study this book? Correct? Why I should study this book? This will be there. And this is the reason why to study this book is given, because it is moksha sadhana bhutam. It is for the sake of gaining moksha. It's a direct, these qualifications are an indirect means for moksha, and the direct means for moksha is what? Is indeed the Tattva Bodha itself. The knowledge itself is a direct means for moksha. So this is the subject matter of the book. And then those who are equipped with this fourfold qualification, in short, are called mumukshus. Now we come back to the prayer verse, mumukshus. Jnana pradam gurum natva. And so who is the audience? Mumukshu. Mumukshu is who? The one who is qualified by these fourfold qualifications, which the book itself will describe. Mumukshu, it's a desiderative word. Desiring for freedom. Muktum ichuhu mumukshuhu. Like this, many words are there. Jignasu, jnatum ichuhu, jignasuhu, mumukshuhu, chikirshuhu, Kartum ichuhu, the one who is desirous of doing something or the other. So like this, this is a desiderative word. And so moktum ichuhu, for the people who are interested in liberation. Mumukshunam. This is the audience. Mumukshu is the audience. The mumukshus are the audience. So for their benefit, hitarthaya. Hita means that is something which is comforting. On a hot day, you take a Ganga dip, hitam. On a cold day, you have something else nice and hot to eat. That is also hitam. The idea is that if the student who is just beginning the study is exposed immediately to the Shastra in the form of the Upanishads, then what happens? Then there will be overwhelm and fear, and perhaps the student will run away. Yasya matam tasya matam, matam yasya navedasah, avijñatam vijanatam, vijñatam avijanatam. The one who knows doesn't know, the one who doesn't know knows, etc. So if that is the mantra one first comes across, then one will throw away the book and run away. Because it makes no sense, it's full of paradoxes. And what is the same thing even with, this is from the Kena Upanishad, but why go that far? Even our closing mantra, that is whole. Okay, this is whole. Okay, you take the whole away from the whole. What? And then what remains is a big hole in my head. Okay, yeah. This itself is problematic. So something that should not overwhelm a nascent mumukshu, that brings a small light, flickering light of the desire, the flickering desire for freedom is there in the heart, but it is subject to the winds of so many distractions and competing notions and ideologies and things, etc. That has to be protected. That light has to be protected. That light has to be nurtured to grow into a conflagration for this knowledge to take heart, for the karmas to be burnt completely. And so for that to happen, this book is a very, very wonderful book. This book is like those, what is that? You have this Life Insurance Corporation of India that has this yeah. So this book is like that. The hands that keep the winds away, so that the light of the desire for liberation, which is a small flickering, kabhi kabhi mere dil mein Vedant ka khayal aata hai, that kind of a light. So that kind of a light is made firm and made steady by this book, Hitarthaya. So when it is firm and steady, then I can expose myself to the Upanishads, and then they will help me. They will lead the way and drop all the notions from the head that should not belong. That is the idea. Mumukshunam hitarthaya Tattva Bodha abhidhiyate. Now we know the meaning. Let us chant the verse together just to internalize that. Vasudevendra Yogindram Tattva Jnanapradam Guru Mumukshunam hitarthaya Tattva Bodho bhidhiyate. The Guru's name is Vasudevendra. The name of the Guru, unto whom the prostrations are made, is Vasudevendra. Vasudeva is Lord Vishnu, Bhagavan's name. The one who the one in whom everything indwells. Vasu. Deva, Dyotanatmakatvat. That the one who is self-effulgent. Self-effulgent, the best way to explain it is by asking a question, are you here? You're scaring me. Are you here? Yes. Not a trick question, literal question. Are you here? Yes. Some people are still doubting, okay? Are you here? That is better, much better. So, what makes you say yes? Did you have to ask the person sitting next to you? No. That is what is called self-effulgent I, self-evident I, self-luminous I. These are the expressions that we will come across throughout. It's good to know that. Self-effulgent, self-luminous I. Then this is Vasudevendra. By the name, it feels like somebody associated with Kanchi Mat, because that's the kind of names they have. Indra, like Jayendra, Vijayendra, like that. Need not be a pontiff, may or may not have been a pontiff. Could be somebody associated with that lineage. Could be a sannyasi in that lineage, who the guru of this author. Vasudevendra. Who is this Vasudevendra? Yoginam Indraha, the Guru of Gurus, the king of all the Gurus, the king of all the yogis, and having prostrated to such a person, who is my Guru, Tattva Bodha, this work, Abhidhiyate, is presented. Like I said, the prayer is the prayer verse is very deep. It not only covers the obvious in the terms of what is how it is presented, who is the guru, and what is the name of the work, etc., etc. But it also does a very important function of presenting something called in the technical term Anubandha Chatushtayam. Anubandha Chatushtaya. Anubandha Chatushtaya means the statement of the fourfold, the declaration of the four main things that any work has to address before it is begun. You can't simply write whatever you want. There used to be a group of scholars sitting in places like Kashi, etc., who would evaluate if this book is worth being read. Kind of a peer review. Like right now we have what is the close, what is that called, the close corollary would be peer article in peer reviewed journals. So you can't just publish. Here there is two things. You can publish whatever you want, and that is called blog. Okay, you can write how many cups of coffee you had, what did you do, all that. No editing process, no oversight, nothing. You can write whatever you feel like about yourself, about the world, about God. Nobody cares. This is not a blog. This is a book, and it's a book. It's a shastric book. It's a scholarly work, and so that it is reviewed by other scholars, and it is reviewed on the basis also of all these things that it has to, these lakshanas it has to cover. So first, we have already seen this, but to make underscore this, first is we have to know what is the Vishaya, subject matter. What is the subject matter has to be known. Then who is and what is the subject matter here? Tattva Bodha. What is Tattva Bodha? Knowledge of the reality about myself as free from samsara. That is Tattva Bodha. Then that is the subject matter. So the topic, Vishaya, is Tattva Bodha. And then who is it for? Mumukshus. The ones who have certain qualifications are called mumukshus. And then desire for freedom. The one who has the desire for freedom from a life of constant want. So much so the want has become the person. The person has become, as Pujya Swamiji would say, a wanting person. The person may be doing many things in life. But then there is a Shruti in the back, like a Tanpura, that keeps saying, I lack, I lack, I lack, I don't have, I don't have, I don't have, I don't have, I want, I want, I want, I want, I want. That is always in the background. And the main notes of the raga are I want, I lack, I don't have. And since just like in any concert, the main notes of the raga are there in the tanpura in the back, which allows the musician to improvise. So basically, whatever I do, I improvise on these three notes. I don't have, I lack, I want. So all the pravrittis, all the activities in the world are based on these subliminal thoughts and messages that are coming. And what is the tanpura that produces the sound? Atma Ajnanam. That is the instrument that produces the sound, is not knowing myself. And so from that comes the cacophony. You cannot call it Shruti anymore. A cacophony of I want, I don't have, I lack, I'm insecure, nobody loves me, even though I love them. And this is the Shruti, this is the background noise that informs all the pursuits. Everything the person approaches, everything the person avoids is all through because of this and this alone. So therefore, the subject matter has to be talked about. And who is the audience? Is the person who wants to run away from this Shruti, the one who is sick of this cacophony. At least if it's an external noise, you can go like this. But the noise is where? It's an internal noise. In one's own buddhi, in one's own chittam, in one's own manaha, in other words, in one's own antahkarana. The inner instrument, the mind, heart, buddhi, etc., all of them are just being drowned out by this noise, drowning in this noise. Finally, somehow, because of some purva punya, some good grace, there is some clearing, a little bit of a clearing to know, I can't handle this anymore. I have to leave, I have to go, I have to get out of this now. This is the mumukshu. This is the audience. It is for this kind of an audience alone. Those that are still rocking back and forth to the tune of this cacophony are not included in this as the audience. So Vishaya, Adhikari. Then of course the important question is, Mujhe kya milega? What will I get if I study this? Nobody does anything just for the sake of it. Adi Shankara points this out. Prayojanam anuddishya mandopi karmani na pravartate. Even somebody developmentally challenged does not do something without knowing what am I going to get out of this. So the phala or the prayojana is very, very important. Even the shlokas that you see are chanted at the temple. You will see the last line always, even in a small panchaka, even in a small quintet of 5 verses, you will see that at the end there will be a phalashruti. What will the chanter get out of this? Shivalokam avapnoti, Shivena saha modate. Gains the world of Shiva, gains the loka of Shiva, dances with joy along with Shiva, like this. All these things are there to encourage the people to chant, because without that encouragement, no chanting is going to be done. So what to talk of a small shloka like that, what to talk of such a big work? Definitely the phala or the prayojana must be stated. So what is the prayojana here? Prayojana here is moksha. Hita is described by a small word here. hita. Everything is hita. So many things, having a nice thing, some nice things to eat, hita. Seeing a nice movie, hita. And then doing something that one really enjoys, hita. But the real hita is knowing that I'm not needing anything to make me more comfortable. I don't need anything in this universe to make me more comfortable. That is hita. I am comfortable being who I am. I do not require any comforting from the outside. That is hita. Nothing I need to complete me. That is hita. Ultimate hita. Gaining which the desire for hita is all gone. Because it's the ultimate hita. The ultimate hita is knowing I'm not a samsari. I'm not subject to this constant feeling of incompleteness, self-censure, judgment of others, self-loath, self-centered insecurity. I'm not subject to anymore. Why? Because I have discovered the glory of myself as whole, free, limitless, free of sorrow, fear, etc. This is the final hita. There is no more hita after this. That is moksha. So hitarthaya, that is the prayojana. So how many did we finish? Vishaya, subject matter, adhikari, intended audience, and then prayojana. Then of course a very important question will come. What is this? So what I want is moksha. Correct? I want to be free. And you are telling me to read this book. What is the connection between this book and my freedom that I am seeking? This is what is called sambandha. Sambandha, the connection, the relationship between the audience and the book, or between the book and the purpose. All these are sambandha. So between the book and the purpose, there is the revealer, revealed relationship. Pratipadaka, pratipadya, sambandha. Revealer, revealed relationship. Who is the revealer? Book. Thank you. And who is the revealed? The mumukshu. The intended audience is the intended person to whom it is revealed. What is revealed? The subject matter is revealed. So in other words, the clincher here is that moksha is directly the attainment. Again, within, I should keep my hands permanently like this for any Vedanta class, because everything is as though, everything is like this. So the attainment of this moksha, which is one's swarupa, the attainment of this moksha is contingent upon studying of this book. This we have to really write it, underline it, and memorize it 100 times if needed. Even if we take Rishikesh, so many ashrams, so little time, each one will have its own definition, not will, might have its own definition of moksha and their own ways of how to get there. One will say catch the toes, if we can find them and see them, that is. And then another one will say catch the nose. No, catch something else. Go here, go there, do this, do that. All those means might be indirect sadhanas for self-growth, for gaining of a certain clarity of what is it that I need, and for the removal of strong preferences, raga, and strong prejudices, dvesha. But they don't give moksha. This is why we have to see what is this moksha. This moksha is myself alone. Oh, I have it? Yes, you have it. Where is it? That's why you are here. Where is it? It's there. Why can't I see it? Because it's eclipsed, as though, as it were, the I, the knowledge of the I is hidden from me. And what is the hiding factor? What is the factor? Ajnana. And the Ajnanam has its own spawns. You know how we do a family tree? You can do a family tree of Ajnanam also. At the head is the matriarch, Mataji Avidya. She is the great matriarch. She has a son. What's his name? Kama, desire. All kinds of desires. Because I don't know who I am, nonsensical desires start to come. I want to go here, I want to go there. I want to go rock climbing. Are you a goat? No, really. Yeah, maybe in my previous life. Exactly. Yeah. And another one, what is that? Bungee cord jumping. That also, previous samskara, spider. Yeah, that's what is there. All kinds of nonsensical, because when that thrill of these kinds of sports makes you feel free. Maybe for an hour, 2, 3. But then after that, what? Back. Vapas aa gaya. Back to the doldrums, back to the sorrow, back to the fear, back to the anxiety, back to the self-questioning. These are all at best small measures, temporary measures, and anything other than knowledge will be a temporary measure. Therefore, Ajnanam gives rise to all kinds of nonsensical desires, which don't let one sit in peace. As soon as I have a desire, there is what? It becomes a pravartaka. It impels me to act. So, Avidya, Mataji, and then Kama, son. And what's the name of the grandson? Karma, action. Karma. Because I can't sit still. First I have the desire, then what happens? The desire has me. Ah. Desire takes hold of me. First I have the desire, very innocent. I have a desire to own this. And I have it, wonderful. And then I have it means I can let go of it. Right? I have it, I let go of it. But if it has me, then I can't let go of it. It is stuck to me. So therefore, this is the karma, action, relentless action to fulfill the desires. And then those desires are all for objects. Objects are finite, but really the desire for finite objects is a morphed version of the desire for the infinite. If the desire for the infinite is not recognized, it will morph into the desire for many, many, many objects. One desires infinitely for the finite. This is one more paradox here we have to look at. And so that is karma. Karma has twins. Yes. What are they? Papa, punya. The results of action, which are grouped into two. Papa, no translation, okay? Puja Swamiji used to say, at the most you can say pa, pa, that's all. No translation possible. Papa, uncomfortable situations as a result of transgressing righteous ways of being, dharma. Punya, there is comfortable situations created as a result of going in tandem with dharma. To be fructified in this or other multiple lives, doesn't matter. Asmin janmani janmantareva. So this is the life cycle, and the Papa Punyas goes back to birth, Ajnanam, everything. This is how the cycle is there. Keeps on going until it is interrupted. By what? Tattva Bodha. This knowledge. This is the interruption. This is the sambandha between the book and the desire for the freedom. Because it's not that you don't have moksha. Yesterday we saw in moments of happiness without even a desire being fulfilled, what happens? You are already free. You know that. In sleep, one is free. And so therefore, in the waking state, because of kartritva bhoktritva, because of the action and results of action constantly being mired in them, being mired in ajnanam, one doesn't recognize I am already free. So for this recognition, what do I have to do? Do I have to do tapas? Say no, so we can move on. Yeah, and let me give you the answer also for every question, so you can just tell me. Okay. Yeah. So the answer for the next few questions will be no. All right. So these glasses are on my head. Another Pujya Swamiji example. All right. I don't know where I have lost my glasses. I don't know where they are. Do I have to do tapas to get these glasses? No. See, after telling the answer also, it's not coming. Yeah. So, do I have to go to a pilgrimage, Char Dham Yatra, to gain the glasses? No. Do I have to feed 100 sadhus to gain these glasses? No. Do I have to meditate to gain these glasses? No. What do I have to do? I have to know that they are there. Yeah, somebody will have to tell me. What you are looking for is you are the possessor of the glasses that you are seeking. Somebody has to tell me that. Correct? Now don't say no. Now it is yes. Okay. So this is you have somebody has to tell. And the one who tells here that you are perfect, you are wonderful, you are already what you want, you are already whole, you are already free, you don't have a boss. This is very nice. Yeah, this is one of the definitions of moksha. No boss, no big boss, small boss, no boss. I am the master of all that I survey. I am everything. Sarvatma bhava. I'm non-separate from everything. This oneness that I crave is already myself alone. So in order to know that, none of the things that we have gone through will help. Somebody has to tell me this. Somebody has to negate this miserable autobiography of a bhogi. Yeah. This one autobiography of a yogi. Many people have cut their spiritual teeth on that book, very famous book. This one, the one that we write, our own autobiography, before coming to Vedanta, is the autobiography of a bhogi, the conspicuous consumer, because one doesn't know what else to say. Chapter 1, Why Me? Title of chapter 1. Chapter 2, I don't love myself. Chapter 3, the whole world is against me. And here is all the justification, sad stories, sad songs. Yeah. Darshan kab doge? Sad songs. Then you can say, I attended a sad satsang, you know. Then sad songs. And then chapter 4, how long will this go on? Chapter 5, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything. Defensive and offensive like a ninja. Somebody else's fault. Chapter 6, not conclusion. To be continued. Next slide. Somebody has to correct. This is universal autobiography of everybody. Now I can ask you this question. Do you like this book? Now the answer is no, okay? Yeah. Do you like this book? Yes. Yes? Somebody said yes? No. Nobody likes this book. Nobody likes this sad, sordid saga of the Jiva. Nobody wants this story. Do you like this story of yourself? No. This story has to be changed into glory. The sad story has to be changed into one of glory. How are you going to do that standing on one leg like Ravana? How are you going to do that? All the tapas, all the things are, what are they called? Auxiliary means. Everything helps. Standing on one leg helps. Meditating helps. Why? When you're meditating, you're not troubling anybody else. This is wonderful. It is a social seva, samaj seva to meditate. Yeah. It is very nice. Whether you have Shanti or not, family members have Shanti, everybody around you has a lot of Shanti because Abba, this person is sitting in meditation. Thank God. So this is exactly the thing. Meditation will help, but indirectly. Shlokas, going to puja, everything will help. Prayer helps, surrender helps, everything helps. But those actions are auxiliary means to gain that which is already gained. That which is already gained is the truth of myself. So what is done is basically the removal of ajnana. This is what I have to do, is remove the ajnanam. And the antidote of ajnanam is jnanam, knowledge. The glasses ignorance is the solution for the is solved. The glasses ignorance is solved by glasses knowledge. Self ignorance is solved by Abba. Yes. Yes. Self knowledge. Self ignorance is resolved by self knowledge. Part ignorance is resolved by part knowledge. Hat ignorance is resolved by hat knowledge. Self ignorance is resolved by self knowledge. But then I don't know myself. Okay, you have convinced me now that I have this sordid saga, this autobiography I don't like. I want to change this autobiography. You have convinced me. But then you said it's a universal autobiography. Everybody has this autobiography. Yes. Who should I go to? The one who has burnt that autobiography in the fire of knowledge. Because of having studied with his teacher, her teacher, his teacher, her teacher, all the way to Bhagavan. The one who comes from a sound sampradaya that does not distort the meaning and the words of the Upanishad, and the one who is able to give this knowledge to me. That is how it is gained. That is why Shravanam. Because the knowledge now, we come to a very important technical word, is pramanam. Pramayaha karanam pramanam. Pramanam means it's a means of knowing. So the book called Tattva Bodha, the book called Upanishad, the book called Kathopanishad, the book called Bhagavad Gita is the means of knowing. I already have many means of knowing. Why should I need this book? I have my eyes, I have my ears, I have my nose, I have my tongue, I have my sense of touch. Already I have 5 means of knowing, which is condensed into one, which is called pratyaksha, direct means of knowing. I have this, which is in my hands. And then there are certain other ways of knowing. Inferential knowledge. You get up in the morning, look out of the window, all the roads are wet. What's the conclusion? It may not be raining now. What's the conclusion? It must have rained. When? When I was asleep. I didn't see the rain. But I see the roads that are wet. This is called simple inference. One step inference. Anumana. One step inference. And sometimes the inference is a little more complex. Like medical inferences. What are the medical inferences? If it works on a rat, it will work on you. Yes. But obviously you cannot just immediately, it's not a one-step inference, lots of things are there in between, many steps are there. Arthapattihi, anyatha anupapattihi. So this is no other way you can get this. This is the only way. Multi-step inference is another way of knowing. The stock example for this is our Devadatta. Devadatta does not eat during the day. Ever. Because he's watched throughout the day. After 1 month, you put the fellow on the scale. He has not lost even an ounce. What's the conclusion? He's eating at night. This is the stock example for Arthapat. He's eating at night. And so then we have another way of knowing by comparing something we know to something that is like something else we do not know fully. Like a certain kind of a flower. There is a flower, Camilla, there is a flower. Nobody knows what is this Camilla, where does it grow, what does it look like? You can say it's like a rose, looks like a rose, like more flat and open rose, but without thorns. Now you know the rose, you don't know Camilla, but when you encounter the Camilla, you know that it is what it is you have come to know. This is called upama, not what you have for breakfast, okay? Yeah. This is upama. A simile, a similarity between one known entity and a similar entity that is not fully known, yet to be known. Then we have another one, the cognition of absence. In Sanskrit known as anupalabdhi. Anupalabdhi. Is there a pot in the palm of my hand? No. How can you tell? Because I know what is pot and I recognize the non-presence of the pot in the place indicated. This is not the cognition of absolute absence. There is no such thing called absolute absence. Because the presence of the sentient being negates any possibility of an absolute absence. This means of knowledge is for relative absence of an object at a certain place. Anupalabdhi answers the questions: what is absent? Where it is absent? This is what we universally deploy. This is what is there in the palm of our hands as means of knowledge. This is what we base our lives on. This is how all interactions, Vyavahara, proceeds. This is exactly how we go places. This is exactly how we invent things, we discover things. It appears to be enough for us to lead our lives. So long as we do not want to know the truth of who we are, these pramanas are sufficient. We can live and die using these 5 pramanas, which we have just briefly described, without any loss, no problem at all. But if we want to know Vedanta, we need a special pramana. These pramanas are vitiated because they are in the hands of the knower. I am the one wielding the pramana. I am the one telling the eyes to see. I am the one who is the owner of the ears that hear. I am the one that does all these things. I operate the pramanas. Which kind of an eye here? An eye that is the owner of this body, mind, sense complex, that who is full of complexes, who says, I'm no good, I'm an idiot, this one operates all the pramanas. And if I also operated the Shastra, the Pramana in the form of the Shabda, the words of the Shastra, then I'm in terrible trouble. Why? Because my own infrastructure will get in the way of this knowledge. My own infrastructure, my own beliefs, notions, ideologies about myself comes in the way of knowing this totally. And this is why I need help. All the other pramanas, I operate. Shastra operates upon me. I have to allow that operation to take place. Just like any other operation. You can't say, oh, I think I have a tumor here. So where can I go online and get a scalpel? I have to, take out the tumor. You don't know how. And besides, it's difficult. You don't have the medical expertise. Even if you were a doctor, it's very difficult. That's why the general expression is you have to go under. Under what? Anesthesia. You should not be there for the operation to take place. They say the anesthesia is so that you don't feel any pain. But the surgeon also benefits. Because if you were awake, imagine, doctor, are you cutting in the right place? Are you using the right instrument? No, I think it's too big. I think the tumor is on the other side. Did you check properly? You look sleepy. Are you all right? You sneezed. Will I get what you have? The surgeon benefits equally from the anesthesia because you are put out. You don't have a say. You can Google the surgeon. Famous, done this, done that, been here, been that, done that. All these things. You can Google the surgeon till the cows come home. You can talk about it. You can Google the surgeon. You can find out from other people. Very famous and what is that? 98% success. 2%, of course. So 98% success in conducting these kinds of surgeries. And then finally you say, okay. So you validate the surgeon. You give the power to the surgeon to heal you. Same thing here. You validate the Shastra. You Google the word Upanishad. You can do that. Oh, it's giving me liberty. It's giving me freedom from myself. All these things. You talk to everybody. Yes, this is the way. Wonderful. You have chosen the Upanishad as Bhishak, Bhavaroga Bhishak. The one who is going to relieve you, cure you from the disease of samsara. The disease of this life of constant lack, want, insecurity, that is the disease. A chronic illness that is passed on from generation to generation without respite. This is who I want to be. This is what I want to be free of. You choose the Upanishad. You choose the Guru who is going to unfold the Upanishad. The Upanishad can be known as the scalpel. The Guru is the one who wields the scalpel. This is what is said even as much in the Guru Stotra. Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitangena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Namaha unto that Guru. Which Guru? The one who wields the ointment. In the olden days, for the cataract, they had an anjana, ointment. The ointment of knowledge to dissolve the tamas, timira, from the cataracted vision which sees the world as divided, Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat. It removes the vision of division from the eyes mired in ajnanam. So the Shastra is the Pramana, is the scalpel. The Guru is the wielder of the scalpel, the one who has performed many such surgeries before. You can also check up that as well. Here it's not 98%, 100% success rate. 100%. Why? Because the knowledge is like that. The knowledge is as good as the object. The knowledge is how it is. You cannot help but see. If I told you, if I said, please look at this juicy mango. See how juicy it is? You may look at each other and you may secretly think till yesterday she was okay. Don't know what happened now, today. Even if you have all the reverence in the world, all the shraddha in the world, can you see this as a mango just to oblige me? No, you cannot. Vastu tantram jnanam. Knowledge is as good as the object. It has nothing to do with me, the subject. Even if I say to Bhagavan, please make it a mango, please make it a mango. All of you will feel so sorry for me, you may get me a mango, but this will not become a mango. Yeah. This will never become a mango because it is what it is. Vastu tantram jnanam. Knowledge happens without effort, without will. Not just Shastra, any means of knowledge happens without will. That's why we see things which we don't want to see, like an accident on the road. Nobody wants to see that. But we end up seeing that. We hear things we do not want to hear. You're just going to your room. You're just passing another room. Suddenly your name you hear in a whisper. Naturally the footsteps slow down and you hear something being talked about you. You hear. Hearing takes place. Seeing takes place. Knowing takes place without any effort. Vastu tantram jnanam, vastu tantram pramanam. All the pramanas are like that. And one more thing is that you can't help but see. If supposing the same example, if I said, please look at this pot, please look at my face, but do not see this pot. Are you able to oblige? That is why the knowledge happens effortlessly. It has to come from, this pramana has to come from outside of this body, mind, sense complex and ahankara, you. It has to come outside of you. Why? Because if you read the Upanishads, you will say, Tattvamasi, next. One person came to Pujya Swamiji and said, I have read the Kathopanishad, I have read the Kenopanishad, I have read the Mundaka Upanishad, I have read the Taittiriya Upanishad, I have read this Upanishad, that Upanishad, every Upanishad I have read. But the Upanishad doesn't work. Nothing happened. Swamiji gently said, no, you can't read, you have to listen. No, nothing will happen if I listen also, because I've already read. What shall I do now, Swamiji? Swamiji said, get a job. Yeah. Nothing more to say. Nothing more to say. And so this is something which we have to really, really understand at the outset. It's the Buddhi. Shastra is a Shastra. For to conduct this operation of the cataracted vision of division, which basically troubles me, which divides me from myself, which keeps me away from my own glory, which I cannot have any other way. So Shastra becomes the pramana. It is indeed the Shastra that protects me from samsara by revealing to me who I am, and that the Guru is the wielder of the pramana. Shastra otherwise is a heap of words, Shabdarashi. That which activates the pramana and handles the pramana, in whose hands the pramana comes alive, is the teacher. That's why it is not so much of a teaching as a transmission. And it's not so much of giving of knowledge or new knowledge. It's the removal of ignorance. The removal of wrong notions is 9/10 of this knowledge. So therefore, Mumukshunam hitarthaya, this is the sambandha. Pratipadaka, pratipadya sambandha, after which there is no practice needed. All the practices are before the gain of the knowledge. Nothing is there afterwards. So much for the people who may have questions. Vedanta is the theory. Afterwards, what should I practice? There's no practice. It's like after the glasses were on my head, after that the glasses were gained. What practice shall I do? No practice. It is a complete pursuit. The pursuit is complete. Total and complete. And so this is the sambandha. So we have Anubandha Chatushtayam, Vishaya, Adhikari, Prayojana, and what else? Sambandha. Moving forward in the text, Sadhana Chatushtaya, Sampanna, Adhikarina, Moksha Sadhana, Bhutam, Tattva Viveka, Prakaram, Vakshyamaha. Vakshyamaha, we will tell. Future, because the book is yet to begin. We will tell in the succeeding verses, in the succeeding pages. We will tell. Who is this we? Author is just one, but invoking the whole parampara. The strength of the parampara is behind me. So the I becomes we. It's not the royal we. It's not that the author is needing respect. No. We will tell, meaning we in the sense of what I have gained from the gurus, all the gurus. I have become one. The gurus are one with the knowledge. Studying with the gurus, I have become one with this knowledge. So we will unfold to you exactly as it was unfolded before. We will tell. What will we tell? We will tell Tattva Viveka Prakaram Vakshyamaha. Tattva Viveka Prakaram. This is the object of the sentence. Vakshyamaha. Object of the verb. What shall we tell? Kim Vakshyamaha? Tattva Viveka Prakaram Vakshyamaha. Tattva we already know. That we refer to as that. Jagat Karanam Brahma, the truth, the reality. Which of course after the study becomes this. In the beginning it is that, then it becomes this Atma. So this Tattva Viveka, the discriminatory understanding method, pedagogy. The pedagogy, the methodology of gaining a discriminatory understanding in order to know the truth, we will tell. Just the translation first. To whom will you tell? Same thing. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarina. This we already saw because I had to import it to explain borrow this phrase to explain the mantra, the prayer mantra. So, Sadhana Chatushtaya, the fourfold qualifications, endowed with the one Sampanna, endowed with Adhikarina. For those who are completely well endowed with the fourfold qualifications, for them we will unfold the methodology through which the discrimination between that which is Tattva and that which is not Tattva is ascertained. So why should I understand this Tattva Viveka Prakara? Because that has a little adjective here, Moksha Sadhana Bhutam. It is the sadhana, it is a means for freedom from my own self that is riddled with doubts, fears, anxiety, etc. What I think is the self. That is going to be dismissed, and I'm going to now, we are going to show you this. Viveka, discrimination. See, if something is unknown, like a distant planet, which is now recently seen in the James, what is that? Hubble telescope. James Webb, not Hubble, yeah, Webb telescope. This Webb has made the this Hubble telescope wobble actually, because this Webb telescope is very, very far ahead. It can see things which nobody could. Supposing I'm told there is a Goldilocks planet. Goldilocks planet? Neither too hot nor too cold. Meaning within the habitable zone, I can stay there. Why am I in search of planets that I can stay there? Because I'm messing up this planet with all kinds of things I'm doing. So therefore, I want to look for places where I can build condos. Now they're thinking of condos on the moon and all kinds of things. So I want to go to some other place. I'm looking for a habitable planet. There is such a thing called, this particular planet, not too far from the Earth, and then it is in the habitable zone, Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold. I don't know anything about this. Supposing if I were to say, if somebody were to tell me there is such a planet, then you say, okay, because then you can verify. One day you will see through the telescope, you can see that. So objects like that, about which I have no knowledge, black hole, distant planet, and what is that? God particle, all these things are God particle, boson particle, God particle, all these things. I don't know. I can know. I just have to be told. So the knowledge which governs the world of objects is very different from the knowledge of the subject as it is. The knowledge that governs the world of objects, you just have to know, because I don't know anything. I don't know anything means I don't have an agenda for that particular planet. I don't wish that it were bigger or smaller. I don't wish for the black hole to be a certain way. I don't have an agenda. I don't have preconceptions because the ignorance is total. No preconceptions exist. Then it is very easy to know. When somebody tells you, you read a book about this object, you gain the knowledge, finished, baat ho gaya, finished. But here, it is not the knowledge of objects. What is it the knowledge of? Subject, I. There is no neutral territory here. First of all, it's not an object. And secondly, I am not neutral about myself. I have strong ideas. I am daughter of so-and-so, son of so-and-so, brother of so-and-so, sister of so-and-so. Even before I come into the world, my identity has already been established. There are claimants to this identity. Somebody calls me son, somebody calls me daughter, already there. Grandson, granddaughter. This is a very different cup of tea. Totally different. So here, the thing is this, that since it is the knowledge of the subject, and the subject which is subject to all kinds of ideas, notions, complexes, there is a sifting that is needed, which is not needed in the knowledge of objects. Sifting action is needed. This is the viveka. Why? Because there is a confusion between the I and the not I. The I is taken to be not I. What is this I? According to the Upanishad, that which has no beginning, no end, glorious, ananta, ananda, that which is the cause of the whole universe, that which is non-separate from everything, is taken to be not I. Not I is what? Mortal. Completely opposite attributes, opposite dharmas. That which is immortal is taken to be mortal. That which is birthless is taken to be subject to birth and death. That which is of the nature of ananda, joy, is subject to, is taken to be subject to sorrow. That which is without a second is seen as infinitely divided. Completely opposite. My knowledge of myself stands in opposition to the Shruti's autobiography of me. Both the things cannot go side by side. Little bit of samsara, little bit of moksha. No, not possible. Nice try, but not possible. Little bit of samsara, little bit of moksha. One has to draw. Moksha, right? One has to drop here. So I can't say I am totally free and I'm also bound. How can you say that? It's a contradiction. The contradictory ideas of who I am versus what the Shruti reveals myself to be. This is what, there is no reconciling that. One has to go. It has to be driven away. Because the I and the not I are mixed up. So in the I see not I dharma. Atmani anatma adhyasa. In the I see not I dharma. What is not I dharma? Mortal, subject to sorrow, subject to finitude, all these things. And in the not I see what? I dharma. Anatmani atma adhyasa. In anatma, not I want everything to be forever. Somebody says to somebody, at least in India, this is very common. Oh, my son, my daughter got a job. The other parent says, is it permanent? Yeah. This is my house. Is it yours? Is it permanent? Is it yours? Or is it rented? Even if you say yours, the bank owns it, okay? You don't own it. So, this whole thing of permanence is attributed to objects. We seek permanence in the objects. It's a strange deflection. Who is seeking permanence in the objects? The subject which is already permanent. Is seeking permanence in impermanence. This is our, this is our bread and butter before we come to Vedanta. This is our capital. So therefore, this moksha sadhana is this knowledge is unlike any other knowledge because it needs viveka. There is a mithuni karanam of satyam and anritam. Satyam, myself, anritam, everything else is mixed up. In me that is free, I see everything in me as bound. In me that is all joy, I see myself as miserable. Therefore, this Tattva Viveka Prakaram, this Viveka is needed. The Viveka is the sifting. In fact, this book of definition is intended to be helping us sift what is this I, what is this not I. A very important beginning to any kind of study of the Shastra. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om